Hi, and welcome to my house. My name is Sage, and in today's video, I wanted to share with you my recipe for sautéed asparagus in browned butter and garlic sauce. So let's get started. First off, we're gonna want to take 1.5 bushels to 2 bushels of asparagus and trim off those woody ends. You don't want to eat the woody parts, they're just too tough. You want the soft parts. So to do that, it's really easy. You can either cut them off or you can grab each end and kind of bend towards the bottom of the asparagus and it'll break. And that's the woody part you don't want to eat. So just chuck that and you're going to want to eat the longer top part. This method takes a minute longer than, cutting it, but you don't have to worry about getting those tough pieces in your meal. So next up, we're just going to chop the asparagus into inch and a half pieces, just, bite-sized pieces. Then we're gonna add some butter to our pan. It is half a stick of butter. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not. The butter is gonna be our sauce. We're not adding like a sauce to it. The butter is gonna coat the noodles. So put it on low and just let it melt. What we want it to do is brown. Now, browning is where you're gonna let the fats in the butter get brown. You know how you brown some meat and it adds flavor to the meat or the soup or the stew? Well, same thing with butter. You can just brown the little fat pieces in there and it creates this nutty background note to whatever you're eating that's really good. Here you can see that the butter is getting a little bit clearer, and this is the point that you'll start to see the little brown bits show up. And at this point, don't walk away. You want to make sure that you're stirring this butter and scraping the bottom. That's important. You don't want it to burn at all. And just be patient with it. Just stand and stir, and as it gets browner, you'll start to smell the difference, and you'll smell what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. And then when it starts to get really brown, probably like this color brown, you can go ahead and add your asparagus to it. And then just stir it up. You're going to want to coat all of the pieces of asparagus in that little brown butter and, get all that flavor working on in there. And then you're going to want to spread it out. You're going to want to flatten it out so that it cooks evenly. You're going to want an even distribution of heat on all those pieces. Don't add any spices at this point, we're just sauteing. You can put the temperature on a low high or a high medium, one of the two. And don't forget to stir the asparagus. You're going to want to scrape the bottom of that pan because it's still going to be distributing those brown bits on the bottom of the pan, and you want to work them up. You want all that cooking in there. So let's work on our other ingredients while that is sauteing. Here I have 1 clove of garlic. I minced it, but you can finely chop it if you don't have a plain. I'm also going to add some black pepper, some regular table salt, red pepper flakes to add a kick of spice in there, and some flat leaf parsley to add a little bit of freshness in that. And then Parmesan. You can grab the pre-grated stuff from the grocery store if you want something easy, but honestly, I think that the stuff that comes in blocks, it just tastes better. There's no way around it. It just does. I know that makes me kind of a cheese snob, but that's just what I think. It's just better. And here I have my grated Parmesan. I have 2 different sizes. I have a larger size that I'm going to use to garnish at the end, and then I have a smaller size. I have about a cup of that, and I chose to do it smaller because I wanted to get into the pasta. I don't want a big clump of it, and the smaller pieces will just help coat it better. And a tip for you is if you save the ends of the good cheeses, stick them in a baggie and in your freezer when you're doing sauces or soups, you can just chunk them in there and they'll melt right away. You can eat the whole thing. It just adds a bunch of flavor. And at this point is when we're going to add the garlic salt. I'm using Lowry's, and I'm waiting until this point because when you add salt to a vegetable, it makes the vegetable kind of leak out its water, and we wanted the asparagus to get a head start on the browning part. But again, also make sure that you're still scraping the bottom of that pan. And when the asparagus heads start to get really brown, we're going to add our spices to it and just work it in there. The asparagus spears are still going to be a little bit crispy, but that's fine. We want them to have time to soak up some of that flavor. So just work it all in and stir it around. Make sure that you're getting all those spices thoroughly mixed so that every piece of asparagus has that flavor in it. and just let it cook for a while. You're going to want to remember again to stir the bottom of the pan. I feel like I've told you that a million times, but I mean it, so just keep doing it. And once it reaches the level of tender that you prefer, then, you can go ahead and add your pasta. I prefer a softer asparagus. I like it to be kind of soft when I chew it. So now I'm going to add my pasta. I boiled it in salted water and drained it. It's just past al dente. And I'm going to stir it into the asparagus. I'm going to be gentle with this. I don't want to break it up or chop it up. I want the pasta to be whole. But I want to be thorough about this. I want all the pasta pieces to have some of that browned butter and garlicky, spicy flavoring on it. So just take a minute, take your time, and it'll be worth it. And I'm just going to cook it as long as it takes to get it hot and at the temperature I want to serve it at. And then once it's hot, I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to add my smaller grate of Parmesan cheese. Now at this point, you're going to want to move quickly but gently. You want to get that cheese spread out and mixed all together before it melts, because you want every piece of pasta to have some of that cheese on it, but you don't want to break it up. So just work quickly but work gently. And there it is. Sautéed asparagus in brown butter and garlic. Well, I hope you liked my video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, then hit that subscribe button. And would you do me a favor and hit the share button? I'm a new YouTuber and I'm trying to get out there in the world, and you are my best chance of somebody else discovering that I exist and that I have something to offer. I do cooking and organizing videos, and you can join me on all of my forums so that way you don't miss out on anything. I have a Facebook page, my channel here on YouTube, and an Instagram account. I'm the Organized Country Girl on all three. Well, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.